Today I'm taking a look at the Brooks Hyperion Tempo.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
11.80 miles, 7 minutes, 38 seconds per mile, 153 beats per minute on average today. Taking the Brooks Hyperion Tempo with me out for my tempo intervals, which for today was 5 times 10 minutes with 3 minutes of rest in between each interval. And this shoe ended up being a fantastic shoe to take out on exactly this type of run. Before I get into further detail about that, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that I purchased with my own money. No one sent it to me. No one's paying me to make this video or to wear this shoe. And in either event, no one's going to get a chance to preview any of this footage before it goes live on YouTube. Now with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about the Hyperion Tempo from Brooks. It is a 7.3 ounce shoe with an 8mm heel drop, which makes it a pretty exciting shoe to run in for faster paces. I like the geometry of it and I love the weight of it. It definitely feels lighter than it looks in hand. And a big part of that is this DNA Flash midsole that they've got in here. It's nice and cushioned. There's a bunch of it. To protect that midsole is a decent amount of rubber for a faster paced shoe. There's some exposed foam here kind of in the middle of the shoe, but in the high traffic areas, in the back of the foot and towards the midfoot and toes. Lots of rubber there, so plenty of grip for me to run on. Now, in terms of the actual feel of running in this shoe, I took it out for 11.8 miles. That meant that I had a little bit of warm-up miles and some tempo paces as well for this tempo run. For the warm-up paces and for those recovery paces, the shoe ended up being pretty good. I liked it a decent amount for that. It felt like a pretty competent daily trainer. Probably if it was just used as a daily trainer, I would put it in probably still one of the better Brooks shoes that I've ever run in. But the real exciting part about this shoe is when you can get up on your toes and pushing a little bit harder. So I have 5 chances to do that for today, a total of 50 minutes of running up on my toes. And this shoe is pretty exciting to run in. The feeling of this shoe, it's not that I'm getting like a carbon plate kind of feel. There's no plate in here. It's just the midsole foam. But I am getting a really nice lightness to the shoe. And by lightness, I don't just mean weight. There's lightness in the impact when your foot hits the ground, and there's lightness in terms of getting your foot back off the ground for your next stride. The thing that I'd say that I'd compare this most closely to is Hyperburst. So it kind of looks like Hyperburst when you look closely at it. When you squeeze it and touch it, it kind of feels like Hyperburst, and it has that like uncanny lightness, kind of like Hyperburst. So if you're a big fan of what Skechers Performance has been doing, then I definitely would take a look at this shoe. But to compare it to something, it's not like ZoomX foam where you're going to get a nice like squishiness to it. You're not going to sink into it. It's not going to absorb all the impact like that kind of foam will, but it definitely felt soft enough for the landings of my foot, even at those harder efforts. So a pretty exciting shoe to run in. It's even to the point where I'm gonna have to do more testing on it for some longer distance speed work. But I think that I might be able to race even a marathon in this shoe. So it's something that I will definitely put into my consideration for a marathon racer, because it has that right balance for me in terms of being a speedy shoe, letting me really get in there and dig deep, but also having enough cushion to absorb just all of those foot strikes that are going to happen over the course of an entire marathon distance. Now, the part of the shoe that I didn't appreciate so much was the upper. Not that it wasn't a comfortable upper. It was comfort is fine. It stayed on my foot fine. Nothing was like rubbing or pinching or anything like that. You have a thin layer of mesh up top. It's almost like a knit upper, even though it isn't, but it kind of felt like that on foot with the way this material up top stretches just a little bit. It's a thin layer of mesh, so really well ventilated, adding to kind of that knit upper type of sensation. There's a tiny bit of padding up on the tongue, which was fine and felt good. But the thing that I found a little bit disconcerting about it is, I don't know if it's just that this upper material is too stretchy or if it's these stretchy laces. The laces that come with the shoe are elastic. And so even though I had tied it down to what I thought was a reasonable snugness, the moment I started running, I felt like my foot was going to come out of the shoe. Normally when that happens, I just kind of like let it go, try to run with it, see if it becomes an issue or not. It didn't become an issue. Like, I didn't feel like unstable. I didn't feel my foot sliding around in it. But both at slower paces and at faster paces, I felt like my foot was coming out of the shoe, and I felt at a couple of different points that I wanted to stop and retie the shoes and really cinch things down for the purpose of testing and for the purpose of like not disrupting the workout if I didn't have to. I kind of just kept going, and it ended up being fine. But it was something, at least especially on the left foot for whatever reason, on the left foot on this particular day, it's something that just kept coming into the back of my mind and my consciousness as I was running in this shoe, is that I just couldn't get it locked down all that well. So something that I'll tinker around with further. I'm sure that I can do things like runner's knot or really cinch it down if I need to. I didn't do that today. I just kind of tied it like I normally would tie any other running shoe, and that felt a little bit loose. So something to kind of keep an eye out for if you're going to try this shoe on before you buy it. But other than that, I had a really great experience so far in this shoe, and this is easily the best Brooks shoe that I've ever running, and by far the most exciting Brooks shoe that I've ever run in. I think they've got a real hit on their hands with this one. I think a lot of people are going to be able to take this shoe right out of the box and put in some really good workouts in it, because it's definitely designed for those faster days, your long run tempos, but also has enough cushion in there and enough rubber coverage, I think, to be your daily trainer as well. Although I probably wouldn't pick it if all I was going to do is daily training. If you need a daily trainer that can also do some of those harder workouts, those longer workouts, then I think that this is a really good shoe to put into your consideration. So those are my thoughts so far after just the one run in the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. If you have any other questions about it, or if you've run in it yourself, let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk to you guys about it more down there. Before I go, I do want to remind you guys about the charity runner for this week. This week it's Stephanie Ryan, who's running the Boston Marathon, and she's going to be raising money for UNICEF, an organization that hopes to fight childhood hunger, an organization that I was happy to donate $70 of my own money to, and I'll post links in the description in case you'd like to learn more. And since she's been Charity Runner of the Week, a lot of you guys have been following my lead and donating as well, and that's been so amazing. And Stephanie just recently emailed me to let me know her thanks, so I wanted to share that with you as well. Stephanie writes, "Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your support, bringing me one step closer to running Boston. Hashtag kofuzi Run Club." So it's always great when I get to hear back from the Charity Runners of the Week. I don't always get to hear that. So thanks, Stephanie, for writing in and expressing your gratitude. And thanks to you guys for showing everybody else here what good we can do together when we run together as a pack. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?